Good morning. Sometimes in my videos I get the opportunity to respond to significant comments or questions from the previous day or a previous comments on a previous video. And today is one of those. And the title that I've selected is 2012, All Life is Sacred and Meaningful. A viewer wrote, "Your constant details about the non-sacred and how attached you are to the material, along with all your tedious negative legal issues which serve to keep you in the third dimensional realm, were way too much for me. It wasn't the first time I was challenged to stop dwelling on the non-sacred aspect of life, to be more positive in my messages. One of my hardest lessons is a challenge for many people in our world of divisional thinking. That lesson is that all life is sacred and all experience is meaningful. That is the foundation of unity consciousness, at least for me." And as I was after I had written that, and after I was scrolling through some of my emails, I didn't get to open them all or see them all, but one was a foreword of John Smallman's channeled message from Jesus. And by the way, I post his channeled messages from Saul. I didn't even know till not too long ago that, earlier this year, that he even did channeled messages from Jesus, but apparently he does, and maybe they come out on Sunday. I'm really not sure. I know they come out on Wednesday and Sunday for Saul. But anyway, the title of his message for today is, again, from Jesus. To awaken is to have only one attitude to everything: unconditional love. That's a hard one for us humans too, because we are raised and trained in conditional love, conditional thinking. Everything is neatly compartmentalized. This is positive, that's negative. This is a good feeling, that's a bad feeling. This is worldly, that's spiritual. We make all of these nice little divisions. And I know how it is when you want to have the feeling good stuff all the time, because that's obviously spiritual, and the feeling bad stuff isn't spiritual. Haven't we been trained that way? Haven't the Western religions, Judeo-Christian, Islam, dwelt on avoiding the sinful aspects of our life, the mundane, and dwelling on the glorious? Haven't the Eastern religions taught us all about Maya and illusion? And haven't they mixed in our Western culture the East and the Western thing, so that everything is an illusion, nothing is real, everything is meaningless, nihilism? It has permeated even our spiritual circles. And it has indeed been a challenge for me to get the message that from the divine perspective, God looks at it and says, "I love you. You're having amazing experiences. What are you learning from all of this? It's all good. What are you learning? What of life lessons is getting through to you?" Now, let me read more of the comment from that particular lady. Her name is Peggy, and it was a post from yesterday's video. I already read the part where she said it was too much for her. I'm continuing there. I had just done a worldwide meditation for peace, and it, and I believe the it means my video, and it brought my frequency down way too much to finish the video the second time also. I am certain you will remove this comment because I have seen you remove comments before. So much so that people and I were emailing amongst ourselves that you might be a psyop person, drawing in an audience. Yeah, the whole screen went black. And then sucking the life out of them with your house paranoia. You are in a bad place, brother, and bad is all caps. She's screaming bad at me. I hope you can get better. Hardly leaving your house because you are afraid of someone seizing it is just sick behavior. It is negative energetically. You are quickly becoming also. I wish you could see this, but many times we are the last to do this. That's the end of her comment. Let me say right off the bat that I do not make a habit, and I responded to this in my comment too. I'm so against censorship that I let people say whatever they're going to say. If they start getting into name calling and things like that, or using great amount of profanity or something like that, which doesn't happen, by the way, hardly ever. But I mean, I may remove something like that. But I am so against censorship that I let people say whatever they're going to say. Now, when I published my magazine, there was a man named David Joy who took great exception to many of the things that I wrote about. And I didn't stop him from writing about them. In fact, I published month after month. I published his comments because it was great for the dialogue. It was great to bring up two different points of view in the same magazine and let people make up their minds which one was right. I think this whole thing of only presenting one side of a thing is extremely dangerous, which brings me to another point that was made in yesterday's, and people writing to me yesterday, wanting to get me to look at more of the information that is anti-republic, and because I'm totally confused. I'm totally confused in supporting Tim Turner. No, I'm not supporting Tim Turner. I want you to get that straight in this respect. I'm not saying that everything that he has done is right. Hear me. What I am saying is if the other side is unwilling to take him up on his challenge to talk about these things openly in a public forum so that people can feel how they're being expressed, listen to what's being said, listen to the accusation, listen to the response to the accusation, there's no point in discussing the matter. Tim Turner wins as long as he is the only one that's willing to talk about it openly. That's how I see it. The other side is censoring Tim Turner. They want to have their accusations heard, but they don't want to allow a response to the accusations from someone whom the accusations is about. People see that as negative. Well, I'm not going. I've spent hours listening to the other side, listening to the videos and the audio tapes and stuff like that, and some of it's valid. It sounds really real to me, but there's an imbalance because they're not allowing it to come out completely into the open, as long as it's just one side or the other. And as far as this house thing, the big issue with my house is having my personal property, my computers, mostly my computers. I spend my days on my computers, having those seized. That would be horrendous. Horrendous. I wouldn't be able to do my videos anymore. My life right now circles around doing these videos. I mean, it's the central part of every day is creating a video. And is it negative to be a prisoner in my own house? Absolutely. Absolutely. But look at the positive side. I do. I haven't had to spend a lot of money on gasoline. I've saved a lot of money on that I would ordinarily be spending on other things, going to places and attending meetings and putting in offerings and stuff like that. It's freed up money for other things. So there's positive things. And I've got a chance to spend time with Ron. I mean, I had one of the most beautiful meditations in months yesterday. I mean, absolutely, I was drawn to create a sacred fire, and I kept fueling it. I kept it going for several hours, and from the afternoon, from the relative late afternoon into the like 9 o'clock at night, and it's still actually going this morning. I was out there stirring the coals in the atrium this morning. It's not completely burned out yet, but I burned almost 2 full barrels of leaves that I had raked from my yard, in addition to all the wood that I was putting on the fire. So as I said, I kept the fire going for several hours, and it was a beautiful time. I even took notes. I even took notes of things Spirit was showing me as I was meditating. Things would come to me, and at first they were just coming to me, and something says, write some of this stuff down. And so I went and I got a notepad and a pen, and I sat it next to the chair, and every time something would come to me, I'd write it down. But I was looking at how the fire consumes and transmutes all of the droppings of the plants, the things that have died, and transmutes it into new energy. And one of the ideas that came to me is the ashes from the fire is excellent fertilizer, because what's left is the minerals, and the ground needs the minerals. So to put those ashes, don't throw them away. Put them back in, mix them back in with the ground, because there's value even in the ashes. And I don't know about what rises up as smoke and evaporates, so to speak, but I imagine there's good in that too. I don't know what it is, but I imagine there's good in that too. To get to the point where I can see good in everything, that's what Spirit's trying to get me to see. To stop dividing my life into what's positive and negative, and just say, okay, this is what's going on now. This is what I have to deal with now. Okay, I'm choosing to be a prisoner in my own house. I'm choosing that. Probably nothing will come of it. But I don't get depressed and stay in depression because of my attitude. Unconditional love. This is here for a reason. I need to deal with these issues. I need to deal with these feelings. I'm not going to push them off. I don't consider myself less spiritual, even though I might not I might not label it as being spiritual when I'm feeling negative. I might not label it that way, but it is. It's all sacred. This is what I've been trying to manifest and why I do daily videos. I'm not always on top of the mountain. I'm not always getting messages of inspiration. Some days, like yesterday, I feel in the doldrums. And as Aristos says, that's what mystics do. They embrace it all. They embrace it all. Amen. That is true. That is the way it is. Mystics embrace it all. And so many people have been taught and trained not to embrace it all, to embrace the positive, to embrace the spiritual, as if the other things aren't. It all is. And I don't want to censor people. I don't pull people's things off. As I responded, there have been people saying, you've removed something. I've had people say, I posted something, and then it was gone, and then it showed up again later. I don't know how those things happen. I have no clue how those things happen. But I don't go around looking and say, oh, this person is making a negative comment. I look at it. Sometimes I even just look at who sent it. There are certain people that I look at who sent it, and I automatically discount it. I mean, that's the truth, but I don't delete it. I just say, oh, it's that person. Because they always come from a fundamentalist Christian viewpoint, and they're trying to say, you're going to have to answer to God for what you're teaching people. You're misleading people. Am I? Or am I being authentic? Am I being genuine? Am I telling you the truth of what it's like for a spiritual person, a mystic, how they live day to day? You get a chance to see that by listening to my videos. If you like it, fine. If you don't have to stay there. And I've had people stop being my friend on Facebook or stop being a subscriber. And sometimes I don't even know they stopped. And all of a sudden I get a friend request from somebody, and I thought, they already were my friend. Well, they obviously left and came back. Same thing with subscribers. I've seen it happen time and again. People resubscribe and re-friend me. Okay. Do I always accept every friendship request? 99-point-something% of them I do. Every once in a while I get an impulse and says no. That says, don't accept this friend request. I just had one of those the other day. But that doesn't happen very often. But it does happen on occasion. Don't friend this person. Okay, I can go with that. But I tend to be very inclusive. I don't tend to be censoring things because everybody has a right to be heard. And this person that wrote that, those are her feelings. I'm not going to invalidate it. There's nothing wrong with what she said, except where she said that I'm a psyop thing, trying to draw people in and pull down their energy. All the energy is good energy. It's just energy. We're the ones that put labels on it. I know we like to feel up, but exploring the underworld or the down feelings is essential. That's embracing the shadow. It's essential in the spiritual process of awakening. As John Smallman and Jesus said, it's all about unconditional love. Loving it all. Everything has meaning. If your life is subdivided into categories of meaningful and not meaningful, loving and not loving, and negative and positive and all of these things, examine that. Look at it. Is life telling you something other than what you're getting? That's your question to answer, not mine. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this today because, to me, we're on a sacred journey. All of us are. And we have tremendous lessons to learn. And unconditional love is the biggest one. And when we see meaning in everything and are able to love, we're well on the road to waking up. Thank you for listening. Namaste.